Welcome to the Nice Hair Podcast. I'm Hannah.
I'm Haley.
This is a weekly podcast where we talk about business building,
Some hair, some social media,
and our lives.
and how it all ties back to hair.
Always about hair.
But not always.
Sometimes hair.
Sometimes we're nice. Aw, I like that. Okay, action. Oh, wait, are we rolling?
Yeah.
Oh, boom.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Oh, damn it. Sorry to not. Hi, welcome to episode 33. Ow, shit.
Hey, guys.
Sorry.
We need a strawberry.
It's like we woke up all of a sudden.
I know. Honestly, these things, do you think they sprinkled sugar on them? They're really good.
No, I don't think they sprinkled sugar on them.
They're so good.
Do you know what sprinkled sugar strawberries are called?
Strawberry sprinkle sugars.
No, it's called, because when
Strawberry shortcake.
No, when I worked at Cheesecake, I don't want to, it's vaguely like the word masturbate, but I think it's mass. What is it, Dylan? I don't know.
You think just because it's close to masturbate that Dylan's just automatically going to know?
I really. No, that's true.
Oh, that's funny.
Mastrate, me. I don't know what it's called. It's an M word.
Well,
Master. How do you say that? Oops.
macerate.
Macerate. Yeah.
Kind of close. You're right.
Told you.
You did.
That's what it's called.
What up? What up?
Hey, we're gonna be talking.
That's gonna be my new.
What up? What up?
Hello.
Yeah, it's pretty random.
Hi.
Are you high?
Maybe on strawberries.
I have a secret.
What?
I'm going to Denver this week, and I thought for 2 seconds it might be a good idea to take like a nibble out of an edible. But then I was like, knowing my mental health history, probably not a good idea. Not that I'm like cray-cray, but like, I don't know if that'll like trigger some weird anxiety in me, and then I got to fly home. And
Yeah, maybe if you're like not.
I'm so scared of that potent stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of traveling, episode 33 is we're going to talk about how to find a work schedule that works for you in your life. I think Haley and we haven't mastered it by any means, but I definitely think
I'm sitting real pretty right now. You guys.
I feel pretty good about mine too. But we struggled. We doggy paddled for a long time before we got this cute little backstroke in.
Oh my gosh, a long time.
I know.
Sorry.
I know. You're fine. I definitely think that it's super, super hard. You okay?
Yeah, I was like realizing I was like sitting like this, like just.
Oh, I don't care. It wasn't bothering me.
Aggressively.
If you're watching on YouTube, you will understand what that noise was.
Okay, sorry. I'm here.
I think this kind of piggybacks on our last episode, which we were talking about having an assistant and just kind of making your life easier by having an assistant.
Yeah.
I definitely think that once you get some things in place, like having an assistant to lighten your workload and kind of delegating tasks, that is when you can figure out how to make your schedule work best for you and how to use your time wisely.
Absolutely.
I think it's really, really, really hard to have too much on your plate and make your work schedule work for you, because you're just always going to be needing to be at work or working. Work.
Yeah, it took such a long time for me.
So what is like a healthy, balanced, I mean, I don't even really believe in balance that much, but what is
either
work schedule that brings you joy or that works for you look like?
Right now, I work 3 days a week, and I love it. I enjoy going to work. I enjoy having adult human interactions.
I would say you work 3 days a week in the salon.
Yes.
Because like technically, this is Haley and I's day off that we're not working, and we're working.
But we're working.
So, yeah. Like I'd like to.
Okay, yeah, we should preface that.
But it took us a long time to get our salon work life in order so that we could do other fun projects like this.
This time, okay, wait, what year is it? 2020. 2018, if you would have told me that I would have time in my life to drive to Dayton, which is about 2 hours from where I live, and record a podcast for 5 hours.
Free of charge.
Yeah, without like getting paid to do it. I would have laughed in your face like, I don't have time for that. That's a joke. Because when I was building my extension clientele, I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. And it was, I wouldn't say it was miserable because I like being busy. I'm a busy person, but I think I was also overloading my work life so much because I had a lot of personal things going on that I didn't really want to be at home for. And so work was my escape. Like I was excited every day to go to work. So I didn't have a problem binge working, but 2019 was my year of, okay, you grew your business over double what you did the previous year. You like slow down, calm down. And that's what I accomplished.
Keeping your goals in mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I think
for
that's
me,
the first place to start, honestly. It's just knowing, like, I don't even know exactly what I want or exactly what
I do.
Like, yeah. No, and that's the difference between us is I function really well in that space of like having kind of a broad general, like, I'm more like hippy dippy, kind of open to like the universe presenting to me whatever it may bring. And Haley's like, this is what I'm going to do. I want passive income of this much. Like, and I have some structured goals like that, but just being okay and knowing what you're working towards is the first step.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise you will doggy paddle your entire career.
But so my goal with 2019, I was also, you guys, like, time off. There's nothing to me more valuable than being at home with my family. So in 2019, I was looking for more, I know there's a word that I'm looking for that I can't think of. Like, obviously money is your return when you're working time, but more like money was not my priority last year. I still obviously wanted to continue growing my business, but that wasn't my focus.
You wanted your career to be more meaty, kind of like more.
No, I wanted I didn't want to work 5 to 6 days a week and at this like breakneck pace where I'm coming in on days off to squeeze people in. I wanted to still make what I was making 3 days a week, working 3 days a week. And I did that.
Yeah, you can do that. I think
I worked 4 days a week sometimes.
Yeah, I work 4 days. Sometimes 3. Yeah. I'm the opposite of you. Mostly 4, sometimes 3. But I think that it's not so much that like finding this like magic math calculation where you're like, you put everything into an equation and it works out. It's just figuring out what exactly you want, like, and saying it and holding yourself accountable to that and saying it to people you love and to clients. And then figuring out what the numbers are from there. I think it all starts with like really boring shit that people don't want to do, which is sitting down with no phone and no distractions and thinking about what do I want?
Right.
What do I want in 6 months? What do I want in a year? What do I want in 5 years?
Yeah. Is growth in my business my priority this year, or is time with my family my priority? And you need to focus on whatever that is. That's where you need to shift your focus. Now, I think every single person is going to say, well, I want to make money and enjoy spending time with my family. Great. But you have to get your business to a point where then you can then set yourself up to be able to have that intentional time with your family.
Yeah. Also, just saying like, I want both isn't a plan. There's no specifics in that. You haven't thought that through. We all want that, but you have to literally stop yourself, sit down, have a meeting with yourself, figure out what you want, and then move forward.
Agree.
I don't think that you can't score without a goal. I can't kick a soccer ball into a net that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you got to know what you're going for.
Yeah.
But then you have to keep in mind too that the only constant in life is always change. So just as soon as you're like, this is my perfect work schedule, like one of your kids has like a baseball team that they need you to desperately coach. And now you need every Tuesday and Saturday off. You know, like I think that you have to remain flexible. You have to remain just open to shifting, but like keep your goals in mind. And for me, that looked, and you know, for Haley, it looks kind of similar, but a year ago it was different. And I don't even think that a year ago I hated my schedule or I was doing too much. My schedule was just different.
Yeah.
So I think that's where people get so caught up is they're like constantly looking for this like definite answer. And that's when they're going to be happy and satisfied. And that's when everything's going to come together. I'm like, nothing's ever fucking going to ever come together. Just like make it work for you now and be happy.
And
or don't bitch about it.
Totally. Yeah. I think because right now I could sit and say,
sorry, I just yelled.
No, you're fine. In 2018, I'm at the part in my business and with my work schedule that I was wanting to be when I started building an extension clientele in 2018. I'm there. Checked it off.
Same.
I'm here.
But
guess
now
what?
we're like, where do we go now?
I'm here. I'm sitting here. I'm like, this is cool. This is great. But like, what's next?
Mm-hmm.
There's something that it's just like you hit your goal. And it's so, I think this is the thing that people aren't thinking about. Like accomplishing the goal. Sure. It's like great to accomplish it, but it's so underwhelming.
It's not the end.
No, it's not the end. And then it's like, okay, so we did that, but now what? Well, I did that. I didn't think I could do that.
Little like spots along the thing.
I did what I wanted. I set out to do faster than I wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but like now there's something more because you've proven to yourself that you could achieve what you wanted to. So I think you're always going to be striving for more. And I think that's part of growth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So I was telling Ava this summer, I love working 3 days a week. It's working really well for me, but I was like, might be going down to 2 days this summer.
That's awesome.
I really want to do a lot of fun stuff with her.
Yeah. No, I've blocked out pretty much every weekend in my summer. And I'm just like, there's no amount, number one, if my client doesn't understand it, they don't understand it. And there's no amount of money or anything or growth in my business that's ever going to provide the importance and the satisfaction of like getting the time with our kids at the age that they're at.
Agree.
And if like, I feel like all of our clients probably know that at this point.
Yeah.
It's hair, like it's just
We're
hair.
not saving lives, kids.
Yeah. Like we are saving our kids' lives by being with them. It's like we're teaching our kids important lessons and spending time with them. And that's just what's important.
But I think you need to really almost do an audit of your schedule. Know your
priorities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, right now, if your kids are young enough, they don't have activities and you have help in the evenings, cool. Work evenings. Like that's great.
Do
Work
it
weekends.
while they're young.
Yeah.
That is my biggest advice. Do it while they're young because your kids won't remember shit. Kids don't remember shit till 7 or 8, number one.
Yeah. And then they maybe will remember it
a little bit.
Yeah. But then when they're like 25, they don't care. They don't know.
Yeah. Hang out with them when they're like, 8 through like 17, like when it's really important that like,
and of course you want to spend time with them. We get it.
Yeah.
But
I want to spend time with my dog too, but I got to pay bills.
So but once they're, they start school, they start this, they start that, like, okay, now, like you said, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm unavailable. Saturdays, I'm unavailable. Mm-hmm. You just shift your schedule. And guess what, you guys? It sounds so scary because you're like, oh my gosh, all my clients, they're all going to leave me.
Yeah.
They're not.
No.
And you're just going to...
They're going to find another day.
Yeah. They're either going to find another day and another time that they can make work, or they're going to say, Hannah, this doesn't work for me. I have to move on somewhere else. But they're going to be opening up another time space for a client who can work from there, who can work with that time frame.
It's kind of like staying strong in what is of value to you, which is your time, number one. It kind of reminds me of episode 31 when we were talking about non-negotiable pricing. My schedule is also non-negotiable. I don't work Wednesdays in the salon. I haven't worked a Wednesday in the salon, and I can't remember how long. Wednesday's my day off. I don't work Sundays in the salon. It's just like what it is. If I have a Saturday marked off, I'm not opening up that Saturday, So
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're okay. I interrupt you all the time. I wish people would.
What if somebody is like, Hannah, I need this one Saturday. Do you have an overtime or an after hours charge that you would do for them?
No.
You just wouldn't, no matter what, you wouldn't do it.
I mean, everybody has a price, Haley. I mean, you know, like, what are we talking here? Yeah, what are we talking here? Like, I mean, if we're swinging the other way on negotiating prices, yeah, I mean, depending on what I have going on, if I don't have like a big family wedding or like anything important, really, it's just a leisure day off. I mean, if you want to throw a price out there as a client and this really means a lot to you, I'll see how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
But not really.
Yeah. I'll give this as an example. Well, not so much anymore, but
I mean, I have a couple of clients who like are kind of celebrity-ish or work with celebrities, and I may like hop on a flight and go to do their hair somewhere on a day off.
Yeah.
That's different though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So and I'm saying this now because
that sounded so douchey. I didn't mean for it.
You be as douchey as you want. I didn't think it was douchey, but I totally get what you're saying. This is Arnold. We're recording this episode the weekend before the Arnold was supposed to happen. It just got canceled because of coronavirus.
So for the people who don't work out, the Arnold Classic is like a bodybuilding.
Or if you're not from Ohio and you have no idea what we're talking about.
It's like a fitness convention.
Expo. It's huge in Columbus. Like 300,000 people come to town for it from 80 different countries. It's a really big deal.
So obviously with the coronavirus health stuff, they've like shut down a lot of travel for big things like this. And the governor of Ohio was like, not going to have it.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
They joined forces and canceled it.
But just in case you were wondering, I'm scheduled to go see Oprah this weekend, and I'm still going to see Oprah this weekend in Denver, Colorado. I'm not staying home.
Because priorities.
Yeah.
But every year, this is actually the first year this hasn't happened, and I don't know if I've just gotten like really good at just no or what, but I used to get hit up all of the time in like the week 2 weeks before, the week before, and the week of the Arnold. I would have a ton of fitness competitors who wear extensions. They would reach out and ask if they could get in with me, and they can't. I book 2 to 3 months out, but I would give them a price of, well, yeah, if you want to, I'll come in on my day off for you, but you're gonna pay for extra time.
Yeah, so you're going to pay. So, because usually they have people at these expos who they have like a spray tan booth and like a hair girl and a makeup girl in certain areas. So, these fitness people will pay $100 for hair, $100 for makeup or whatever.
But for me, it was like, this is a client that one, I'm never going to see again, more than likely. So if I'm going to go out of my way to work on my day off, I'm going to make it more than worth my time.
Yeah.
So now I would probably be like, no, sorry. It's just not even an option. But there was a time when
I was scrappy like that for years.
No, but if now, if you're still like that and that's something that you're like, oh my gosh, like that's a great idea if they want a day off. Like if you're coming in on your day off, you guys charge for it.
Yeah.
Charge for it. Mine, at the time, if I were going to do it now, I would honestly probably double the service total, but I would do my normal pricing plus $100 an hour on the hour. So like, even if you were there for 15 minutes into that hour, it was like you paid for my entire hour.
Yeah. And just be clear about that.
Yeah. And
if someone asks you that. Those are rare instances, but they do pop up.
They for sure pop up.
And people will test you too, even if they're not somebody cool that is on a TV show or in a fitness thing or whatever. Random people will test you and be like, oh, well, my husband he's in the Navy and we have a really important Navy ball this one Saturday coming up in May. Is there any way you could do my hair? If you can't, I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, I'm not working that day. Yeah. Like just say no. Like
say no.
Just like
or
with your prices.
Again, like just have boundaries and charge for it. There's nothing.
Yeah. If you don't have anything going on, but you weren't planning on working that day, let them know that, hey, that's my day off. There's a, surcharge or a service fee for.
Yeah, I would just call it like your after hours fee or.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. After hours, I didn't think of that.
Yeah. So I had somebody else refer to it as that to me, and I was like, ooh, I like that. So that's what I would.
Yeah, no, I like that.
That's what I would say.
And I mean, this is not, this could totally happen too if someone who is doing something, if they're in a band or if they're on a show or if they're traveling for whatever reason and they are asking you to travel outside of a normal range of travel and you have time and want to do that, make it worth your time. Don't charge someone your normal fee for doing something just because you think they're cool and you're going to get exposure for it. You're not.
Yeah.
You know, like just, you're still going to have to go back to your normal salon and work the next week, you know? So like make it worth your time.
Yeah.
There was one other thing I wanted to add too. This is what I was going to say. I think too, when we're asking other people, like when Haley got this message on Instagram and this person was like, how do you figure out how to find a schedule that works for you? Or how do you find a balanced schedule? I think sometimes we look to other people for this advice. Like, you know, she's asking Haley, you seem so balanced. You seem like you're enjoying life. Like,
guys, I'm not.
Well, no, you are. But like, how do you make this work for you? We're asking other people because
You almost need permission.
yeah, we see them doing that. But yes, exactly. What you don't realize is that you need to like reel it back in and realize like you're running your own race. So your race is going to look different for you than Haley's looks for her. And then mine looks for me. So like, please, 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 if you have to not watch people's stories or not watch people's whatever, if you have to like mute or just not engage with things to not feel like you're falling behind, do that. Because I know that's one thing I struggled with for a long time was just not only comparison, because I think comparison is just a natural human thing, but I think being hard on yourself because you're not doing what someone else is doing or you think that's where you should be, like just stop and think about what you really want and where you really want to be, and then just keep working towards that no matter how slow or fast you're going.
I just think...
And look at your schedule the same way. Like look at your schedule and what's going to work for you. And for Haley, it's 3 days a week. For me, it's 4 days a week. For somebody else, it's 2. For somebody else, it's 6. Like, and that may be balanced to them.
100%. I know also, even for me, when Ava was in school, like if she's away from me and I'm not hanging out with her, I have no problem going into work. Of course, you know, you want a day off, but that was something last year that I was like, yeah, like I'll commit, you know, I'll work 4 days a week. I'll do I do 2 long days and then 2 half days. I'll drop her off at school. And then guess what? I'm done in time to pick her up. And that was great. That worked really, really well. But I just feel like the common theme for today is like boundaries. Like it just comes back to having boundaries and
balance.
Well, balance
is a feeling.
Because here's the thing.
Balance is a feeling.
Yes. One of the things I've been focusing on...
We could do a 3-part boundary series on this.
Ooh, okay. I don't know what that means, but yeah, let's do it.
I feel like it fits.
I do too. So I think I've been focusing, I would say the last like probably 6 to 9 months on whatever I'm in, I'm intentional and my focus is here. So while I am here, like recording the podcast, like I'm not worrying about Ava right now. I'm not worrying about XYZ. I'm not worrying about what's going back at the salon. When I'm at work, I'm focusing on work and on my clients. When I'm at home, when I'm on my dinner date with Ava, I'm focusing on being present and hanging out with her. It's like being in whatever moment you're in. That truly helps me feel the most balanced, but I think balance is this illusion that everybody's chasing.
I do too. It's more of like a feeling. I think it's just more of a, it's the feeling you have when you and your soul or whatever you want to call it is at peace because you know that you are not out of balance or out of whack with your energy. I think it's mostly about an energy thing. If you're expending too much energy, worrying about keeping up with people or being on social media or whatever, when you're supposed to be in the moment working at the salon or being with your kids or whatever. Right. That's the balance I think that we're talking about.
I would
It's
agree.
never really like a balanced teeter-totter. It's just like you feel settled with however you're spending your energy.
And so I think, and this comes in phases, because like I said, it's like a cycle. So, and sorry guys, my nose is running. in 2018, when I was building my business, I had a goal of going and only offering extensions. And so I did that. So, okay, cool. Check that off.
Check.
Yeah. So but then it's like, okay, well, then that year I was spent hustling and promoting and advertising and marketing, like whatever, so I could get to this place. Well, now I'm at that place. And so now what? I was running around. What didn't I like about last year? I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Okay, so let's fix that. So I'm just going to maintain what I've built 4 days a week and kind of coast. Not in I'm like settling way, but I needed a grip back on. I was making sacrifices of time away from my family. I was making that I wasn't interested in making anymore because I had grown my business so much.
It didn't feel right anymore.
Yeah.
It felt out of balance.
So, and then, rolling into this year, my business still grew. It didn't grow over 50%.
You don't completely lose that momentum even when you stop grinding that hard. But, but you're not going to continue with that momentum. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm at that space too where I've like pulled back a little bit for my kids and I feel myself slowing down. It's like when you take your foot off the accelerator. But you feel yourself slowing down, but you're still moving.
You're still moving.
Yeah, and
but it's just like, you're like, okay, this feels good. Well, then coming into this year, it was like, all right, last year I coasted in my business and I'm ready to put the gas back on. And so guess what, guys? The pedal to the metal. Like that's where we're at. We're full steam ahead. So,
and that doesn't even have to be in a year time. Like I have like April 20th is my date where I have a workshop that I'm starting that day. And I just know it'll be like, literally I'll be like
a chicken with your head cut off.
Drowning. Yeah. And I'm like fully prepared for that. But like, I'm okay to coast up into that point because I have a goal that on that day, it'll be like, full lead on the pedal. But I think that is a balance too, or just at least knowing your life and knowing when to pull back, when to push on, or at least just knowing your fucking schedule, like knowing when does your kid have a Girl Scout meeting, when, what Sundays do you want to go to church or just whatever.
Well, because I think a lot of guilt comes from lack of planning.
That's what I mean. Just looking forward and being like, okay, if it's what is it right now? It's March. If you have a kid in school, they're going to have a field day. They're going to ask you to probably come and help fill up water balloons for that field day or whatever. Like, look at that kind of stuff ahead of time and figure out, okay, if that's a Friday and I work on Fridays, maybe I want to take that Friday off. Like, look ahead 6 months, 9 months at a time. If you have small children or if you have a parent that needs your help or if you have vacations you want to go on, like you're not 17 anymore. You can't just hop in a car and drive to the next big city and stay the night with a friend. Like, it's more of like an adult routine. Let's plan some stuff out. And that way you don't feel so chaotic in your days and weeks at
100%.
work. Yeah. That kind of shit's hard for me though, guys. Like I feel everybody who has struggled finding any type of balance or a work schedule that works for them because
you're always going to feel like something's missing. You have mom guilt when you're at work and when you're home with the kids, you're thinking about work. You guys, I don't know that that's something, no matter what business you're in, no matter
as long as the big stuff isn't missing, you're fine.
Yeah. I think that's something you're always going to feel is out of whack. And I think the key is being intentional with your time. Just when you're sitting down to do something, just focus on that. Focus on it for an hour. Put your phone away, turn everything off, focus on that for an hour. You're going to be shocked at what you can accomplish. And then when your kids get home off the bus, you have that time to hang with them.
And tell your clients too, when I stop working, we can wrap this up, but this is the one thing I think a lot of stylists, like Amber probably, because she's the Enneagram 2, I know that she probably struggles with this. I certainly do. When I was like, I'm not going to work evenings anymore, because I worked evenings up until 2 years ago, so 2018. And then I was like, I'm not going to do it. There's no amount of money you could pay me to work into the evening, like late. So I stopped taking my last client at 2:30. And that was hard because most normal 9 to 5 jobs are 9 to 5.
Right.
Do you know how much of a problem that I've had getting people in? Zero.
Right.
Because because I told my clients, I'm taking my last appointment at 2:30. I need to be home with my kids. How do you argue with me about that?
You don't.
How are you going to argue with somebody about that?
You don't. They're like, oh my gosh, totally understand.
They're like, pay a nanny. My hair's more important. No, nobody would ever say that,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So I think just being honest and transparent with your clients too, and just sticking up for yourself, there's no argument or really like big discussion that has to go on. It's just like, you know,
I think
my
we
husband,
should do an episode on boundaries.
Yeah, my husband works late.
Yeah.
Someone has to be with my kids. And even with me, I blamed it on my husband. I'm like, yeah, he doesn't work that late, but like, just say, I need to be there.
Yeah.
You know? I think just being honest and transparent with people and just knowing what you want.
Yeah. And communicate it.
Mm-hmm. Should we just stop making podcasts because we just need you guys to communicate? I'm just kidding. Just, you can't say it enough. Like we can't say it enough. And I can't hear it. I can't hear it enough, honestly. Like,
well, because it's always going to show, what is it? Like more money, more problems. It's the same thing with your goals. Like
now Haley's quoting rappers.
More money, more
problems. And I mean,
no, but it's like, it's the same thing with your goals. Like there's always going to be an elevated version of what you just went through that's going to seem like it's a roadblock once you've checked off your checklist of what was a struggle for you 6 months ago.
And if you're on the right path, your capacity to handle more as your growth moves in a bigger direction, your capacity for that grows.
Right.
I remember struggling with simple multitasking situations in my head intensely. Like I remember this specifically. And it's like, I literally can feel my brain growing the more I take on, and I just make a bigger capacity for growth.
Think of it even as something as basic as your social media. Mm-hmm. How overwhelmed and hard was it when you were like, okay, I have to post one photo a day, one video a day, and one text post a day.
And a live,
And a live video. How overwhelmed were you?
I was like, there's no fucking way. I'd never even been on a video.
I don't have time for this. How can I work this in? And now, do you think twice about it?
No, we just hop on and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just dropped my Starbucks drink all over my lap. That really sucked. Like you just hop on a video all of a sudden and talk to people like it's normal because you've done it a gazillion times.
And it gets easier. So the uncomfortable thing becomes your new norm.
The first time I ever heard this podcast back and heard my voice, I was like, I can't fucking do it. I hate myself, my voice. And now I turn it up. I put it on fucking Bluetooth speaker and tell my kids to shut up and listen. Like, you just get
your
over
notebooks out, kids.
Listen here. We're not having dinner until you finish your podcast.
I'm going to need your notes so I can see what you learned.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you just don't, if you want to succeed, do not get caught up on these little tiny, like, speed bumps that are not blocking the whole road. You're just making excuses. Just go over it. Get over it.
Because chances are the reason people want to know
spicy today.
What's the perfect schedule? What's this? What's that? There's something that's not working for you. Mm-hmm. There's something that you're unhappy with. You need to figure out what that is and how do you address it.
Are you too tired taking too many clients a day?
Do you need an assistant at work? Is it actually not your schedule? Is it just that you're bone tired at the end of every day?
Are you having too many emotions tied into your clients so you think you have to keep everyone on your book and you have to service everyone even though they're not willing to pay for
your time,
you to have you raise your prices, and then that's your fault.
Yeah, so you just have to, I think, figure out kind of what the root of your struggle is and address that.
Which is usually letting too many emotions get in the way of an actual functioning lifestyle.
Lack of emotions and lack of boundaries.
We don't even like emotions here.
Not in these parts.
I love you. But yeah, I think people forget that they're running a business that is allowed to have business hours too. That's like a great thing to end on. Like, if nothing else, when
you get home from work, don't return client messages, you guys.
No, you're not. It's not business hours.
Guys,
I don't know any other business that's just going to text somebody back at 9:30 at night.
Yeah. It can wait till tomorrow.
Do you know how many people too send me message on Instagram because they see that I'm on Instagram? Ooh.
Yeah.
They'll like see that I'm whatever liking, or I just posted something on Instagram. So they like hop in my DMs and ask me something, and I'll look at it, but I don't respond because I'm like, it's 10:30. I'm laying in bed. Like,
yeah.
I'm not. You don't have to. Don't feel obligated to do that. Get back with them.
That's the hard thing about
You're not going to lose that person. If you do, whatever.
And I started directing people when they do that. I'm like, hey, can you shoot this over as an email to me?
Oh, Haley loves an email.
Love an email.
Loves. You know, John Mayer only, like with his girlfriends, used to like only correspond over email. Not text message, not phone call, email.
Kind of baller.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't mad at him. I'm like, way to put people in their place.
Way to have boundaries, John.
Right. With your girlfriends. No, but I love that Haley
you guys,
is an email girl.
Obviously social media is a tool for my business, but I like it to be informal I want people to have a conversation with me like, this is my question, or, oh my gosh, like I have those pants too. Like I'm not going to change your appointment through my DM. So like send me an email.
Yeah.
You know,
because to me, it in a business form.
Yeah. It keeps that a little bit more of that boundary. So,
every once in a while, if somebody reaches out to me over DM, I have shifted. I don't really get that anymore. I was just thinking about that. I was like, I don't really get people getting in my DMs like that. People either message or call. But yeah, just keep it like what a business should be. And if you have to slowly kind of transition towards that, then do that. But like with new people, it's a lot easier to just train them to get in your email.
Some people don't like email though. Like some stylists are like, no, I'd rather do DMs. So
I'm okay with text messages, honestly, or phone calls.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I have so much junk shit coming into my
email. Please don't call me.
A phone call if it's scheduled, and I like have my AirPods ready to like take your phone call, not just like spur of the moment.
I barely even call like my friends just randomly. I'm like, hey, are you free in 15 minutes for a call?
Yeah.
Like, because I've like so regimented with my calls now.
Haley's like, I have 4 minutes on my schedule. Can we put you down?
Can I pencil you in?
I text her like that too. I'll be like, hey, do you have time to chat at 8:30
Yeah, I'll be in the
tonight?
car. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I have this window.
Know your schedule, set business hours, hold yourself, tell your husband, tell your mom, tell somebody, this is what I'm doing. These are my business hours. Will you help me maintain this? So that when you get a call or a text, you can have somebody looking at you like, this isn't a business hour.
Yeah, agree. While you're watching Love is Blind.
I love Love is Blind.
It's not the time to respond to an email.
No, take care of yourself. Take some time off.
Yeah. We really like doing these episodes where we're like talking about like questions and concerns that you guys have.
These are things I wish I would have known.
Same. And you guys, we get these asked in our DMs all the time. You're not the only person asking. So if you have these kind of questions, of course you can shoot us a message and, hey, maybe like talk about this on your podcast. I'd love to hear an episode about that.
I love getting those.
I do too. But you can email us too at the Nice Hair Podcast email.
Which is nicehairpodcast@gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Because
you can DM us on the Nice Hair Podcast page. I don't care. I might not get back to it within 24 hours, but
yeah. Well, like I said, you can D-mail.
Close enough.
I'm kind of scared of whatever that means. You can DM our personal pages too, but if it is something that you would like as a podcast response, maybe specify that because I'll just go ahead and answer it. But
I have people like that'll take a screenshot of them listening, like the podcast episode, and they'll be like, "Love this. Could you talk about whatever?" Yeah, and I'll make a little note.
So yeah, we do really like talking about things you guys are interested in hearing.
Yeah, we really like you guys too. We've had such good feedback from like the sweetest stylist.
It's actually crazy. It kind of blows.
Like tell us, because sometimes we just think we're talking for no reason. And then every once in a while I'll get somebody that's like, you guys are life. And I'm like, oh, thank God someone's listening.
I know, other than my mom.
I know. But
no,
we see the numbers. People are listening. But it's nice to hear.
And we really appreciate it. And we appreciate your guys' support. And you guys are the bomb.
Next episode, I think we will be having my assistant on. And then Haley's assistant will be on episodes after that. So we have some fun stuff planned.
We sure do. We love you guys the most. Have a great week. And we'll chat soon.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Love you. Bye.